Vishal was one of the gentlest souls that anyone who's had the privilege of meeting. A very responsible young man. He represented a father figure for my young nephew, Anisha's son. He took care of my mum and my elder sister. He was at the peak of his career, or starting the peak of his career. Achieved probably one of the major milestones of his specific career with Native VML. Very level-headed person, very caring, sensible, a lot more practical than myself, and great brother, great person. So much one could say about him. It's hard to find something specific that stands out. On one hand, we were partially relieved that Ford has finally done a recall, which saves Ford Kuga drivers from further trauma and risk of losing their lives. On the other hand, we were very disappointed in some of the answers they gave. One can only look at international media and you'd find lots of cases on record on the Louisville issues in the US, which date back as far as 2011 with the 7th recall in 2013. The published reasons for this recall are almost exactly similar to those of South Africa. And one could imagine, why did they not take those steps in the South African vehicles to ensure that the South African consumers are not affected by that? And clearly they did not. They knew of some fires reported to them early in 2015. They've left it to the insurance company, as Nemeth has alluded to yesterday, because if you insure it, in his words, insurance should cover that. It's not for Ford to get involved in that. And it's only when the death occurred of my brother did this matter become a bit out of control for Ford. And their first gut instinct was to try and point evidence in any direction but themselves. You know, one would expect with any big brand, especially an international brand like Ford, that shortly after an incident like this, they'd contact the family and not only offer their condolences, but more importantly, share with us what would be their plan on investigating the matter, so that we could have some sort of comfort that this matter is being investigated. We did not hear from Ford whatsoever. It was only after we wrote an email to Mark Fields and Jeffrey Nemeth did we get a response from Peter Fester on behalf of that email that I sent to them. And that's where the communication channel started opening. Shibishi Muratana came on record with Rod Montano. And in that first meeting, which we worked so hard to get, he made it clear that he did not want the family there. And Rod can share some very important things that we discussed at that meeting, which sort of paints a picture as to what we expected to take place from there on. Up to this point, we generally believe that a brand as reputable as Ford, they do the right thing. They just needed time to investigate, and they would give us a closure we certainly needed. And more importantly than our closure was to bring a recall of sorts for all the other Kuga drivers of South Africa, to save them from this trauma. It's not been easy. You know, one says, we speak to many people who've lost loved ones and they give us advice to do various things, but the most common thing is that, take time will heal things. For us, it's still yesterday that we lost him, because every day we're reliving this issue. I've got to talk to media, I've got to talk to specialists, I've got to talk to international media, and we've got to go into in depth, in detail about his loss. I can account for every minute on the 4th of December that we've lost him, and everything we've done for the last year. And that's what Ford's forced us to do. They forced us to relive this loss every day, and it gets heavier and heavier for us to deal with. And they seem to think that we are looking for many different things, and they don't understand the simplest thing we want is closure. We want them to accept responsibility on this defect, and they need to understand that South Africa is as important as the people that live in the US or the UK, where they do recalls shortly after one or two incidents. We've had more fires in South Africa than they had in Louisville in the months that we've reported the fires that we've accounted for. But they've done 7 recalls in Louisville. So, they're waiting for data. We've managed to accumulate data in days of taking our social media campaign live.
From yesterday, I just believe it's not a proper recall that's being done. I don't see very much of a difference of what they've done over the period of December. Because people are taking their cars in, they're going to repair it and give it back to them. And my biggest concern is people have did this in December and cars have burnt after. So for me, they should have taken these cars off the road. So yesterday, very disappointing that that's a safety recall. And people still have to drive around with their families, and South Africans don't feel safe in those cars. And pushing them towards their insurance if they do have a fire and take no accountability, it's gobsmacking for me that they would do that.